Chapter 4 Virgin.
This was my stage, 2 square meters unlike a cage. I will be preaching and teaching about more than a rage. People will go, stop, do, stop, redo before the next hop, and another one who acts like a thug though. But no, this is more than trash talk and a flow. The story of more than a life. Some random guy, not a lyrical lowlife. Maybe if you listen more than you look, you will understand the meaning of missing a fancy hook. His beats are and could be your next step. His dreams he picked out of your bed. Slight underfed, but still standing here for something, rapping without regret.
It was a Sunday morning, and the sun had climbed above the raised roof of the building across the street from Jake. He now had a stage, a persona, and a spotlight. Last night had been too long to be filled with sleep, so he stood up at 6 o'clock in the morning to greet the roosters with his own crackling voice, slightly affected by the thirst and the shortage of sleep. Sunday equals sleep for a lot of people, or at least rest. Jake knew this all too well due to the fact that no one passed by his improvised stage. Of course, this was his first time he stood on a so-called podium since his vocabulary exam in high school, and he still remembered how the adolescent laughter went through the class like a Mexican wave. Back then, the back of the shady classroom tried to hide their laughter behind their log-like hands, but soon after, popular demand to not care about any of Jake's performance cued the earthquake of shattering gibbon-likes to begin. Back on the street, though, Jake realized that he was rapping about that one painful experience now, for a while, but from a far past. Suddenly, at the tip of his toes, he found a coin. The subject of his lyrical deposition changed immediately.
Who thinks a man can only think when poor is wrong? This is not about money, nor am I a human King Kong. My brain is fully functioning and I sleep in a bed, not a dong. My heart is exploding, and please dare to prove it wrong. Syllables jump towards you like the truth rushes to lies. People actually fight for a voice, you know. Give coin, but the hungry kid still cries. True, it's 1 for the money and 2 for the show. But fuck that, I ain't no industry's whore. 1 for the thought and 2 for the execution. My words will start an emotional revolution. Please, if I may, take back your gold and think. Why, don't blink and don't swallow like a sink, but instead will write in your memory with verbal ink.
The passing man, who was in Jake's eyes as generous as stupid, turned around with an empty expression on his face. He had thought different things before giving a coin, that man did. Things like homeless writer with a good memory and an empty but groovy stomach. Instead, he got an educated man with an opinion about this society and a mission to spread it. You should have seen the confusion on his face. The passenger's expression was empty because of the preconceptions that had been erased from it. His blue eyes found a possibility for discovering in this confusion, free for the interpretation of new images. He left with his ears feeling like they finally were unblocked after an endless travel through the high mountains. Jake caught his breath, stood around a little. He met a couple of strange people later that day, and all of them guided his story through different ways and different paths up and down mountain roads. One person would change him more than he did any other traveler. His name was Otro, the other man. End of chapter 4.